Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. So today we're going to go through what Chris Ingham has been up to on Instagram, and I don't mean messaging teenage girls on this occasion. No, he has been putting out a story, question time type thing, and he's answered some very interesting questions. So we're going to go through those today and see what the lovely Chris Ingham is up to. So this person says, do you still enjoy doing YouTube just as much as you did from the beginning? So yes, as we all know, without a doubt, Chris Ingham did enjoy YouTube right at the start. You can tell that by his mannerisms and the way that he got over enthused about certain situations, about certain events and things like that. So we can say that that is true, right? Now, Chris replied to that, and it was stunning. It was stunning. He said, genuinely mean this when I say it. If we didn't love doing it, still, then we wouldn't do it. I don't know. I think we might have to agree to disagree on this one, Chris, because if you didn't love doing it, well, you need to do it, basically, is what I'm trying to say. You need to do it. You need the money, right? Am I right? He goes on to say, YouTube is a dream job. There's no two ways about it. Not one single other profession or career will earn you even close to the kind of money YouTube does. One video can earn you more than a lawyer's salary, which is just the crazy world we live in now. And notice how Chris, yet again, as always focuses on the money, right? Okay, yes, do I want money? Yes. Do you want money? Yes. Everybody works to make money. Everybody does, you know, but it's not the be-all and end-all of life, is what I'm saying. YouTube's a dream job because it earns money, but what if you don't enjoy the job, right? Just having the money and a job you hate, then, you know, it's not a dream job. Anyway, he seems to love YouTube because it gives him lots of money and he doesn't have to become a lawyer. That's the takeaway from that. We haven't needed YouTube to pay the bills for a long time now, and so we don't need to make videos to live. Yes, you do. I'm sorry, because otherwise where's your money coming from? Utter moron, right? You don't have all these side hustles you claim to have, because we haven't once seen a single piece of evidence of a side hustle that has made you enough money in order to live off, right? All these ones that you've recently started are just that, recently started, right? So show us ones, you know, the ones that you claimed in your original book that you had already done, and you were, you know, really wealthy because you'd made all these businesses that nobody's ever seen. And trust me, if you had done that, you would have shown it. I mean, that's the perfect way of getting people to sign up for your crap, is if you show evidence that you have done something, but you have never shown evidence that you have done anything, right? He goes on to say, but we still do it because we genuinely love doing so. It really doesn't come across like that, though, does it? Does anybody get the feeling that they love filming and putting things out? I mean, they're very rarely on time these days for their vlogs. They used to, in the old days, they used to go above and beyond to get vlogs up on time. It didn't matter about whether or not there was Wi-Fi or anything like that. If they could do it, they would do it. They would go out of the way. They would drive through town. One time, they even uploaded the vlog in the middle of, or in the centre of London, right? They found a hotspot, a Wi-Fi, the only spot that they could find, and it was literally just outside the train station. That is it. And they stood there, including making the kids wait. Yeah, they did do that as well. They made the kids stand around whilst Chris uploaded the vlog. Now, obviously not good for their kids, but at the same time, that was the level that they wanted to go to get the vlogs up on time for their fans. Fortunately now, they don't have any fans that could care less whether or not they're on time or not, you know. Anyway, they don't do that anymore, and they haven't done so for a long time. We love this community we have built, and we still think, right, the community which revolves around literally nobody that used to be in the community. You actually built like an army of fans back in the day, and none of those watch you anymore. None of them do. But the ones that do watch you are really like vulnerable adults, and they don't know what they're doing, because trust me, even if it was like an adult that's not vulnerable, if they watch your channel knowing what you did, Chris, and knowing that you're exploiting your kids for money, then, you know, that doesn't say much for the community that you're building, really, does it? We still think we have inspiration to give and value to share with others. Which inspiration? I've always wondered this, right? Okay, I'm not being funny, and I'm not being hating or anything like that, but I always, like, the kids that used to watch them in the olden days, right, used to say, "Oh, you're so inspirational," and I used to think, how? They're literally showing their kids on holiday. Inspirational. I don't know, and that really grates on me. I don't know how Chris thinks that he has inspiration to give. I'm not quite sure where that's coming from. Both Sarah and I are super social beings. How? When? This was my favourite part. Super social beings are Chris and Sarah, but, like, how? Where? When? You have no friends. You don't have friends. To be social, you need to talk to other people. You don't talk to other people because nobody likes you. I know it's hard to accept and everything, but sometimes you just got to accept that nobody likes you and move on. They are super social beings and thrive off the interaction that this platform allows us to have. But again, you don't interact with your fans either. Every now and again, you'll reply to one or two comments on the comments on the vlogs, but you don't do anything more than that. It's actually quite a poor show, if I'm being honest with you. You don't have that many comments that you can't reply to at least a few a day. There's nothing like connecting with thousands of like-minded people that appreciate you for value that you add to their own individual lives. Which are these thousands of like-minded people? Because the thousands of people that watch you every day are basically haters, right? What you would call haters. So most of those that are watching you are actually haters. So that is the like-minded people. I mean, maybe they all hate you, so you thrive off that, I guess. So as much as there is some extreme negatives to this line of work, the positives outweigh them by a million. While there is still that kind of balance, then we will continue to make videos. So this same person asked the next question and said, has it got easier or harder over the years? So Chris replied thus and said, this one's a double-edged sword. It gets easier in one respect because you perfect your craft, especially when you do it every single day. Exactly, Chris. We would expect you to get better with every day that you're doing it. Unfortunately, you appear to be getting worse, right? I'm not going to lie. You do appear to be getting worse. You are like, yeah, you miss a lot of things. You don't blur things out. You film like naked kids in there and you don't cut it out and things like that. You know, I'm just thinking that that's not a very good. Also, there's the, you film your own kids in like nappies and stuff like that, and you don't cut it out. So I don't think that that's a very good example of your craftsmanship. For me, I know my own self well. I feel confident in myself and my ability to effectively communicate to a camera, which is a very hard skill to master and get used to, especially at first. I don't offend easily, and I genuinely don't care what anyone wants to trash talk about me or think negatively about me. It's like water off a duck's back. Indeed. I mean, all those comments about your hair must really not get to you, that you need to wear a beanie every single day of your life, whether it's minus temperatures or 40 degrees. It seems like that those comments really don't get to you. But on the flip side, it gets harder the further into this you go. We definitely live in a world now that thrives from drama and negativity, which is sad. Everyone's out to cancel everyone or use others in negative ways for clicks and views. Right, so I want to really address this because I think Chris is misunderstanding some situations here. I agree to a certain extent that there's a lot of people trying to cancel other people for nonsensical reasons or just for fun or whatever, right? But Chris doesn't fall into that category. He thinks he does. He thinks, oh yeah, people are just trying to cancel me, aren't they? I'm just like one of those superstars on YouTube that people just want to cancel. No, Chris, they want you gone because of what you did, right? Now, this is a good opportunity for any casual observer, casual listener to engage with us, right? And listen up, because people seem to forget. Now, no matter what you think of whether Chris and Sarah's parenting skills are up to scratch, maybe you think that we're being a bit harsh when we say that they tried to kill the kids the other night. Maybe. But the one thing that remains a constant in this whole charade with the Inghams is the fact that Chris Ingham tried his damnedest best to lure a 16-year-old child into bed. I mean, was that not your intention, Chris? Was you not? Were you just joking? Was it just a joke? When you asked a 16-year-old, barely 16-year-old, to go skinny dipping with you, yeah. And for those who don't know, skinny dipping means basically taking your clothes off and going swimming, right? So naked swimming. Yeah, he wanted to do that with a 16-year-old. And how old were you, Chris, at the time? 33, 34, something like that. Yeah. So I'm just putting out there that was quite inappropriate to even suggest, even if one was joking about it, which I don't think he was. Anyway, so for those reasons, if you don't think that anything else that we say is true, or you don't agree with anything else that we say, if you watch Chris Ingham and support him as a person, you're actually supporting him as that person, right? That person, by the way, who's never ever admitted to anything, even though there's overwhelming evidence to say that yes, he did do these things. And he's never ever apologized to the people he did these things to. Now, what do you think that makes him as a person, right? So I'm talking now to all of the iFam who currently watch them. There are a few left, and there's a few that support them in more ways than one, that, I don't know, like to call them friends, right? And yet, this is the type of man that you are, like, supporting. I mean, Carol, you're having banter about having sex with this man who wanted to have sex with a 16-year-old. I mean, by extension, that kind of makes you a little bit like, I don't know. I don't know, Carol. Maybe that makes you like-minded. Maybe you wanted to be a part of Chris's little fantasy. Did you? Something like that? I don't know. Anyway, those are my thoughts about the situation. I thought that it would be interesting just to go down memory lane about, you know, certain things that Chris has done over the past. Not even allegedly, because I don't think there's any allegedness about this. Is there, Chris? You know it to be true. And I think that more people should be aware, because I don't know. I mean, what does it take for so many thousands of people to watch them and not actively care that Chris did that? Or don't they know? Or do we need to do another round of like awareness on this situation? I know I don't talk about this a great deal, but you know, every now and again I think it's worthwhile, you know, just mentioning it, because some people may not know, like the newer fans, if they have newer fans, maybe they don't know about the situation that Chris got himself into and still hasn't acknowledged. I mean, maybe he's sorry for what he did, maybe, but he hasn't shown any remorse, so I don't know. Maybe he's not sorry. Maybe he's just sorry that he didn't get away with it. I don't know. Anyway, let me know what you think about that in the comments down below. What else did they say? Yeah, so for that reason, you definitely are much more careful about what you say or share information about your life the more you go down this path. I think the other issue here along the same line is that back when the Inghams started off, family vlogging was still quite a really positive thing. People loved family vlogging and they didn't understand the dangers of it. Now, people, and it's not just me, by the way, people universally, right, the majority of people, thankfully, are getting used to the fact that family vlogging isn't actually a safe thing. It's not a positive thing. They can see the damage it's doing to the kids involved, and they can see all the negative sides of it. So that's what Chris is talking about. It's not that people are just necessarily more hating these days. It's because they don't accept family vlogging as it was, because people are getting, you know, they're becoming used to how bad it is now. So then there was this other question which I thought was an interesting one. Would you ever do a TV show like the Radfords do? Now, there has been a train of thought that maybe this huge thing that they've got planned and lined up is actually like a TV show or something like that. But Chris has responded to this one, and it appears not. And the reason might surprise you. We've actually been approached by a number of TV shows in the last year for various things, two of which we couldn't commit to filming schedule as we were already out of the country. Another due to the timing of Aura's birth, but if the right one ever came up, then for sure we would consider it. P.S. Big love, Sue and Noel. I'm sure Sue and Noel are reading that. Anyway, yeah, so according to Christopher, 3 times last year they had opportunities to be in TV shows. Yeah, TV shows were clambering over themselves for a piece of the Inghams. I'm certain. What exactly would they have for you? Exactly what? I mean, what is your niche, basically, Chris? Because, like, I can see why the Radfords might get a TV show because they are the big family, you know, 22 kids. I can see why others might get a TV show. You know, you get your 10 kids upwards because there are lots of kids and stuff like that. But you have 6 kids, and that's your thing. 6 kids. It doesn't seem a bit that unique, if I'm being honest, right? It doesn't. So you're claiming that you couldn't attend 2 of the offers because you were away on your holidays, right? And one was when you were giving birth to the baby. So are we to believe that you had 3 offers in this past year alone to I don't know what, to have a TV show? Nobody wants you, Chris. Seriously. I mean, nobody, right? Nobody wants to listen to you talk about how amazing your life is. And, you know, can you imagine how a company would approach Chris, and Chris would say, "Oh yeah, we'll have it. We'll be on your TV show. It'll be brilliant, won't it? In it, won't it? Yeah, man. Defo, man. Cool, man. It'll be great, man. And you know, just shh, don't tell the people, don't reveal it yet, because, you know, the haters, they will come and they'll spread some malicious gossip. You know, I tried to get a 16-year-old to come skinny dipping with me, but, you know, don't tell anybody, because that's a secret. Nobody knows." You know, if you went on a TV show, Chris, it would amplify your profile, and the one thing that you don't want is to amplify your profile, because, you know, people, not just the people that already know, people further afield that don't know who you are would then find out who you are and who you didn't. That's a bit of a slip of the tongue. I mean, what you did, right? So probably the last thing that you want is to be on a TV show, honestly. You know, you do not want that level of exposure. Not that you're not used to exposing yourself, but, you know, that's another matter entirely, isn't it, Chris? Oh, dear me. Anyway, apparently they are going to be doing this big, huge thing soon that they promised. You know, the big, huge, life-changing event. So we're trying to narrow it down to decide what it is, because apparently it's the next thing after this trip, according to Chris. So we're trying to narrow it down. It's not a TV show, we've discovered here, and apparently it's bigger than an all-inclusive holiday. So it's not an all-inclusive holiday. It's also not van life, so it can't be moving into a van, or it can't be living in a van full time. Honestly, I can't think of anything like moving abroad. I think one of the questions that Chris answered to was, would you ever live abroad? And he put 2 eye emojis, so I think that might be it. Possibly. Anyway, but on the other side of the coin, how does he know if he's going to be free to do this thing? Because in a couple of weeks' time, his lovely wife, has to go into hospital to sort out her tubey things, right? And get those fixed. So he doesn't know what's wrong with them yet. Maybe she'll need an operation to get it fixed up, and maybe she won't be available to do whatever it is that they've got planned. So there's no point planning ahead, you know. Plus, if they were to move abroad, then what would happen to all the various appointments apart from Sarah? Obviously, you've then got Jason, his eyes, things like that. Mila with her hips, you know, all these considerations, and yet none of them are being considered. Anyway, let me know in the comments below what you think about everything, and do you think that they're going to move abroad? Do you reckon that that's what it is? It could be. It could be. It could be America. He also did answer that he'd like to do Route 66, which I believe is in America. So, good luck with that one, Chris. Give it a go, at least. It'll be fun. Anyway, please give this video a massive thumbs up, comment all of your thoughts about it down below, and subscribe to the channel if you are new. Until next time, have a lovely day, take care of yourselves, and bye-bye.